The results of the ballot box express a profound desire for systematic change. Through my election, the Senegalese people have committed themselves to building.
Once a jailed opposition candidate, Bassirou Diomaye Faye was sworn in on Tuesday as Senegal's fifth and youngest ever president. The 44-year-old former tax inspector defeated Amadou Ba, the candidate of outgoing President Macky Sall's ruling coalition, by a landslide in the first round of voting.
Je suis conscient que les résultats sortis des urnes.
From former President Macky Sall, Senegal's fifth president was sworn in at the Inauguration in a ceremony attended by foreign heads of states and governments. Mr. Faye won more than 54% of the votes in the 24th of March presidential election and was confirmed on the 30th of March by the Supreme Court as the country's next president. Among many obligations, President Bassirou Diomaye Faye is expected to put the Senegalese economy in order. President Tinubu, who is the chairman of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, was accompanied on the trip by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Meita Matuga, and other senior government officials.
A fair Senegal, a prosperous Senegal, a progressing Africa.
Dans une Afrique en progrès.
The new president has vowed to tackle corruption and introduce a series of economic reforms to prioritize national interests, including the renegotiation of oil, gas and mineral contracts with foreign operators.
Le Sénégal, sous mon magistère, sera un pays d'espérance.
Under my leadership, Senegal will be a country of hope, a country at peace, with an independent justice system and a strengthened democracy.
Démocratie renforcée. Avec une justice indépendante et une démocratie renforcée.
This is my promise, based on the oath I have just taken before God and the nation in your presence.
Devant Dieu et devant la nation, en votre présence.
Over a dozen heads of state and regional representatives attended the inauguration, including Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo, and African Union Commission Chair Moussa Faki Mahamat. The military juntas of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger also sent representatives. The smooth transition is a welcome boost for the country. 3 years of political turmoil in Senegal had raised concern about democratic backsliding in the coup-prone region of West Africa, where juntas have seized power and cut ties with traditional Western allies in favor of Russia.
A left-wing Pan-Africanist was sworn in today in an event attended by some African leaders, including our president, Bola Tinubu. He's Senegal's youngest president after sweeping to a first-round victory on the pledge of radical reforms 10 days after he was released from prison. The 44-year-old has never before held any political or elected office, for several African leaders attended the ceremony in the new town of the Aniado. But what lesson does this have on African politics and leadership? From New Jersey, in the
Hello, good people, and I hope you are doing well from wherever you are watching me from. This is Eli from Africa, and we're gonna talk about the newly elected Senegalese president Diomaye Faye. So there is a lot that can't be learned, is going to be learned from his presidential victory, and it's a person who has been overseeing tax collection from the opposition to a person who now holds power, a person now in the State House of Senegal. And Faye joined the Patriots of Senegal for Work Ethics and Fraternity Party and became one of its prominent figures back then. And he played a crucial role in designing Sonko's program for the 2019 Senegalese presidential election, where Sonko secured almost 16% of the votes cast. And in 2021, Faye became the General Secretary of PASTEF after Sonko's arrest on charges of repeated rape. As part of this strategy to win power, Faye united the opposition for the 2022 elections, securing 56 seats under the alliance Liberate the People. That was back in 2022, I mean. And his presidential victory comes as a very important lesson that most opposition leaders are going to learn, because we have seen he went through a lot just from jail. 10 days he had to campaign for 9 or 10 days, and he becomes the president-elect and now sworn in as the president, and he becomes the youngest president. There are so many youths and so many people who are expecting a lot from him, since he's the youngest. And many youths have been saying the problem is not the old leaders we have. The problem is the old ideas they still carry along with them. And so since Faye is just 44 years old, there is a lot that can be expected from him. And in the 2024 Senegalese presidential election, it must be remembered he garnered 54% of the votes, and notably he became the first opposition candidate to win an election in the first round since Senegal's independence in 1960. That's quite something to rejoice about. It's something to be noticed. It's notable by the way. And his inauguration took place in April 2nd, just a day. It was just yesterday, and he pledged to fight corruption and reform the economy. And his first official act was appointing Osman Sonko as prime minister. You must remember, he was arrested on charges of rape. And Faye practices Islam and has 2 wives, and that is not going to affect any of his leadership, I think. And we in Africa believe that a man with 2 wives is quite wise, because you have a lot, the way women are dramatic, so you have a lot of wisdom on how to go about some things in your daily life. Let me know of whatever you think of this video, and do you think Faye will join the likes of Ibrahim Traore in delivering at the international stage, in making sure that his country is safe from exploitation of the West and all that? There are a lot of young people now eyeing on him to bring up the change. Since he's the youngest, Africa will be looking up to him to see the change that comes along with his leadership. From overseeing tax collection to presidency, it's quite inspiring. Thank you so much for watching this video.